Tonight, Whitburn's mayor says more internationally trained doctors can help solve the healthcare crisis. That story and...
We, the people of this city, need the transportation for the buses. If they cut back on the buses, well, there's going to be a lot of issues.
The city of St. John's is reducing how much money it gives to Metrobus. We hear what riders think about that.
The province has announced a think tank to look at teacher recruitment and retention.
Today is a good day for the Department of Education in collaboration with the NLTA and for educators in Newfoundland and Labrador.
I think it's another delay tactic.
I'll have more later in the show.
The equipment is ready, the chairlift is fixed. All Marble Mountain needs now is, well, you can guess, lots of snow.
The young people are ready for winter and our infrastructure is ready, so bring on the snow.
An update from the West Coast Ski Hill. That's tonight.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. The number of Metrobus riders has grown, up 44% since 2019, and that's led the city to cut the amount of money it gives to the bus service. The news came as the city passed its latest budget, but what does it mean for the growing number of people who rely on Metrobus? Elizabeth Whitten found out.
This is an essential service for tens of thousands of people in St. John's. Every day, they hop on the Metrobus to go to work, school, attend critical medical appointments, and to see friends and family. But earlier this week, St. John's City Council slashed the money it's giving to Metrobus. And here's how people felt about that. Edward Adams knows the value of Metrobus. He uses it up to 5 times a day, including to get to and from medical appointments.
I try to get the bus with the handicap thing here, trying to get on overcrowded, and if they're going to cut back on services, what are you going to do?
Now that the city is giving Metrobus less money, he's worried his life is about to get a lot bumpier.
People got to speak out. We, the people of this city, need the transportation for the buses.
Despite losing about $1.5 million in city funding, Councillor Ron Ellsworth says Metrobus services will be basically unchanged.
Yeah, nobody needs to be concerned. Council is fully aware of the importance of transit. Council is fully aware of the needs of transit, and we are building capacity.
He says 70% of Metrobus's funding used to come from the city. Now, with the service banking on $7 million coming in from riders, that subsidy has dropped to 35%.
But our cost doesn't have to increase the ridership. So the buses are on the road, the fuel's on the road, the personnel's on the road, the back-end supports are there. So every extra person who rides the bus is an increase in revenue.
Ellsworth says that increase can then go to make the service better. Yazamin Azaki is a student who uses the bus daily to get around town, places like the gym, attending class, and going to the library.
Transportation is really important in everywhere. So in St. John's also, if we don't have transportation, we won't be able to go to school, university, or whatever, we are doing in our daily basis.
Likewise, Adams is still worried about Metrobus services.
I don't believe a word he says anyway, right? I mean, it's not coming out of their pocket, is it? Coming out of the taxpayers' money.
Elizabeth Whitten, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the government says it's going to form a think tank to look at how to recruit and retain more teachers in the province. The education minister made the announcement today as teachers and their unions speak out about violence in schools and the underfunding of education they say is behind it. Here Now's Mark Quinn reports.
The Teachers Association and the Education Minister made the announcement together today. A think tank that wants to hear from teachers like this about what can be done to better serve students like these.
I want to hear from the folks on the ground. I want to know how things are operating in classrooms, how teachers feel their day-to-day runs, and always give them the opportunity to voice their perspective in the decision-making process.
The NLTA says it's hearing about violence in schools. It says teachers are struggling with emergencies and fighting to keep understaffed schools open, rather than focusing on teaching students.
I'm not viewing this think tank as another committee. I'm viewing it as an opportunity, as a stepping stone towards some substantive change. And we'd like nothing more. And we need to see in the next few months some direct action that is going to address some of these major issues.
But will a think tank hear anything that hasn't been said many times before?
One thing for the association to speak, but to hear it directly from the mouth of a teacher is quite another. So the minister is committed to that, to hear from individual teachers, and we're excited about the opportunity. But we're going to be blunt and we're going to be honest.
We might not necessarily gain any information that we haven't heard before, but the opportunity to build the relationships with teachers, to enlist the supports of many, maybe government departments, cross departments, to see how we can address those issues.
I think it's another delay tactic.
Jim Dinn is a former NLTA president. He says we don't need a think tank. Dinn says it's clear that what the education system needs is more money to hire more teachers and teacher assistants, to reduce class sizes and serve the diverse needs of students.
I understand why the NLTA is engaged in this, and I know that they're going to be pushing for the resources, but I will tell you the measure of success for me is that come budget 2024, that there's going to be something clearly there that will address class size and class composition, period.
The education minister said the think tank will start its work in January with a survey sent to NLTA members across the province. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the mayor of a rural town on the Avalon is calling on the province to expand a program that assesses international family doctors. The mayor believes it could help improve the doctor shortage, but those behind the program say it's more complicated than that. CBC's Heather Gillis reports.
We've been serviced so well by these foreign doctors, it's unbelievable.
Hilda Whalen, mayor of Whitburn, says internationally trained doctors are vital to keeping healthcare going in rural areas of the province. And she wants to see more of them here. It's why Whalen wants the health department to increase the number of seats in the Practice Ready assessment. That's a 12-week evaluation for family doctors trained outside of Canada.
There is such a shortage of doctors. We can't get them from other provinces. It's not going to happen. We have to rely on these doctors now.
Memorial University's med school assesses about 20 candidates per year, but the school says it doesn't have the power to bring that number up by itself. In a statement, they say they need a number of local practicing physicians with capacity to administer the assessments, and they say doctors need to meet minimum national standards and write exams to get in. Before doctors trained abroad can even do the assessment, the province's College of Physicians and Surgeons has to verify whether they meet all the requirements and then issues a provisional medical license. In a statement, the college says it's approved 200 applications since the middle of 2019, while the med school says since government launched the assessment program in 2021, they've added 30 family doctors to the province's healthcare system.
I was shocked to find out that they only take 20 a year.
That's far too few for Andrew Pretty, who's been advocating for healthcare in the Whitburn area.
These seats, not nearly enough. BC recently just increased theirs from 30 seats to 96. We should be doing the same here.
The Newfoundland and Labrador Medical Association estimates about 136,000 people in the province don't have a family doctor. That's according to polling from earlier this year. The province's health authority has active job postings for 158 doctors. 57 of those are for family medicine. In a statement, the health department says it's going to work with Memorial University and the College of Physicians and Surgeons to review the Practice Ready assessment's capacity. But they didn't say how much that capacity might change or when that could happen. Heather Gillis, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the Liberals are using new branding for the upcoming by-election in Conception Bay, East Bell Island. The familiar solid red signs are gone, and so is the Liberal logo. Peter Cowan now on why they're making the move.
You don't need to see the logo to know what party these signs are for. There's PC Blue, NDP Orange, and Liberal Red. But in the upcoming by-election in Conception Bay, East Bell Island, the Liberal signs have been stripped of their party logo, and most of the Liberal red is gone too.
You know, parties go through different look and feels, different brands all the time. There's nothing more to it than that. We felt it was time for a refresh.
But there may be more to it than that. Back when Justin Trudeau and the federal Liberals won every seat in Atlantic Canada, the provincial Liberals played up the association. And Andrew Furey has repeatedly boasted about his friendship with the Prime Minister.
That person is my good friend, the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, and I think he deserves a round of applause.
But Justin Trudeau's popularity is low in the polls, and so is the support for the federal Liberals. And political scientist Alex Marlin thinks that's what's behind the decision to use very little red.
It sends a message. I mean, there's a lot of brand equity in each of these parties, and those colors symbolize a lot. So when you see a party moving away from the colors, it tells you that they think that there's a problem.
Does it have anything to do with the fact that federally the Liberals are polling much, much lower than they have been?
No, not at all. No, not at all, not at all.
The Premier insists that's not his intent behind the new branding, but he did point out how separate the two parties are.
The two have been separate organizationally and operationally for quite some time. The Prime Minister has been good to this province, but it's a different party, and we here as the provincial Liberals have our own brand, our own look and feel, and I can tell you this, the Prime Minister has to look at after the country. It is my job to look after the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, primarily and principally.
The Liberals are hoping Fred Hutton's own name recognition, thanks to decades on television, helps him win the by-election, but Marlin says that's not a guarantee.
We tend to think that people who have a lot of name recognition and public figures really have the best chance of winning. And the reality is that quite a bit of research shows that's not the case at all. In fact, the people who have the best chance of winning are municipal politicians who then move up to the next level.
That could give the edge to Tina Neary, the PC candidate who's a town councillor. Add to that 20 years of electing PC MHAs, and this by-election will be tough for the Liberals whenever the Premier decides to call it. Peter Cowan, CBC News, Portugal Cove, St. Phillips.
Well, it was definitely a chilly morning this morning. Take a look at some of these numbers. -5 in St. John's this morning. You head up towards Labrador, those temperatures a lot cooler. -13 in Cartwright, -17 in Lab City this morning. But taking a look at what the temperature difference is from yesterday, we're certainly seeing those temperatures down anywhere from 5 to 9 degrees cooler at the moment than it was yesterday. Up across Labrador, different story. It's up about 4 degrees warmer than it was yesterday. So what we've got on the go, really not a whole lot weather-wise. Most of the activity is to the north and west of us at the moment, but we do have a bit of a trough, and that is sparking some flurries and definitely some onshore activity on the west coast of the island. The radar is currently down, but we are going to see some more flurries as we head through the next couple of days. The other thing to note is we're in this cool pocket of air at the moment, but as we head towards the weekend, we're going to start to see that warm up, those temperatures back up into the double digits. But for the time being, we're going to talk about some snow, and the staff at Marble Mountain Ski Resort are prepping for what they hope will be a busy season. And with new lifts, passes are more expensive this year. Now all they need is some snow. Colleen Gunners has more from the West Coast.
It's cold and windy today, usually a perfect day to have these snow machines going. And in past years, they'd already be gearing up to lay down a solid base. But there's warmth coming next week, so this year it's still too early.
Snowmaking, especially here in Western Newfoundland at sea level, is an art or a science. And while we've invested recently in some new snowmaking infrastructure, most of what we have was actually put in back in the 80s and the 90s when Marble Mountain didn't actually need snowmaking, when historically we would get 16 and 20 feet of snow naturally.
Nothing like that here today. They're not planning on being fully open for at least another month. But there are signs they're getting ready. The Black Maria chairlift on the far left side of the resort is finally operational after 5 years of turmoil installing a new cable and parts. This gives skiers access to a section of the hill without having to trudge across the top of the mountain, known to locals as the Struggle. The ski hill has a new ski and border cross racing course as well, and 3 new trails.
So it'll bring our total up to 44 trails this year.
Given all that, plus a new groomer, a day on the hill will be pricier this year. Around $100 more for a season pass, $10 for a day pass. Because the money the province is spending to keep the government-owned ski hill operating can only stretch so far. The Development Corporation says the key to keeping this place running is to take good care of the equipment so it lasts.
We sincerely hope so. We're in good shape right now. We've got the place in great shape for this winter, probably the best shape it's been in years. And, we're hopeful everybody's on side. The government is supportive of the place, and we just want to keep it going as good as we can.
Right now, the management team are preparing for the 160 unionized staff members that work here in the winter, and training bar and restaurant staff for the lodge, while ski patrollers train for the ski season, whenever that may be. While Wells couldn't give any indication of a date or even a week that this place may open to the public, in the past couple of years, this place usually opens around mid to late January. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Marble Mountain.
The Single Parent Association's food bank received one big early Christmas gift. It now has a place to buy wild meat donated by local hunters. Here Now's Arlette Lazarenko has that story.
It's a big gift that brings big opportunity, a freezer for meat and fish, courtesy of local hunters.
There's a need, and we're very happy to have recognized it and to be able to help fill that need.
That need is a place to store wild game. Hunters like Barry Fordham noticed the need. He's been advocating for hunters to be able to donate their catch to food banks, and now he's helping again. His partnership with the Outfitters Association made it so 5 food banks received brand new freezers, including here, as well as connections for seniors.
It's very rewarding, actually, because we as hunters, we've always had a history of sharing the harvest.
Barry reached out to us probably about 3-4 weeks ago and said, hey, I got 2 more food banks who are in need of freezers. Think you guys can do anything? So I brought it to my board of directors, and it was probably the fastest yes we've ever had.
For the Single Parent Association, it means more quality food will be available for longer.
When we can have something like this, the capacity to be able to freeze it and keep it fresh and maintain the quality that's in it, it's all coming together.
A welcome gesture at a time where more people are waiting, lining up, asking for any food available.
We're living in hard times, and it's not only food bank clientele that are feeling the pinch, it's everyday people as well that food banks are recognizing and speaking about. So to be able to help out in this small, maybe insignificant way is my way of paying it forward.
Arlette Lazarenko, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, a soccer player from this province could soon be hitting the pitch in the Canadian Premier League, the top soccer league in the country.
And with the first overall pick of the 2024 CPL U Sports Draft, Valor FC select Owen Shepherd from Cape Breton University.
21-year-old Owen Shepherd was selected first overall in this year's CPL draft. He won a National Youth Sports Championship earlier this year and was named MVP of the tournament. Shepherd will now join Valor FC in Winnipeg. Should he play in the CPL, he'll be the first Newfoundland and Labrador trained player to do so.
As for shoes, I know personally I'm going through a new pair of shoes every 2 weeks. And we do start rehearsals in September.
Preparing for the biggest show of the year and all the shoes that go with it. We take you behind the scenes of Kittiwake's The Nutcracker. That's still to come.
Well, we've definitely seen some warm air, got rid of most of the snow on the ground. It doesn't look like we'll see much before another warm-up comes. I'll break all of that down for you coming up in a few minutes.
Well, the east was experiencing a little bit of a warm-up, but that is certainly over.
Yes, temperatures have been dropping through a good chunk of the morning and then into the afternoon today. Taking a look at the past 12 hours in St. John's, for example, it started out at about 0 degrees at 6 a.m. this morning and down to -4 now. We saw a bit of a wind shift as well. Northwesterly, westerly winds keeping those temperatures a tad cool, like I said, down to -4. If we take a look at the temperatures, though, across the province, we're starting to dip down. Minus double digits in St. Anthony, -10. Factor in that wind chill, feeling more like -19. Definitely a chilly night, and pretty much the same story up across Labrador. Makovic seeing a wind chill at -21. So as we head through the night tonight, we're going to hang on to these wind chill values. So if you do have plans, maybe Marion Bright tonight or anything like that, you are certainly going to want to bundle up as our wind chills stay into the -teens. Up across Labrador, pretty much a similar story, and we're going to stay there maybe a couple degrees cooler as we head towards the morning hours tomorrow morning. So if you're heading out the door, you're going to want to bundle up. As far as the satellite radar is concerned, we do have some flurries working their way along the southern areas of the Avalon. There are lots of flurries happening on the west coast, particularly in and around Gross Moor, and seeing some reduced visibilities as far as the road conditions are concerned. The radar is down and will be down intermittently over the next couple of days for maintenance. Other than that, the radar hopefully should stay up for the eastern areas of the island, but most of the activity should in fact be on the west coast. This flurry activity that we're seeing now, for those of you on the west coast, will eventually taper off. It won't be as widespread as we were seeing today, but for the most part, most of the island should in fact be seeing some partly clear skies tonight. Now, Labrador, you're going to see some light snow develop, and that will work its way across the Big Land as we head into the morning hours, just increasing cloud the story for those of you in the southeast. Eventually, some flurries will develop. Now, the other thing with this system tonight, or the temperatures tonight rather, they are going to stay fairly chilly into the minus double digits. Winds will be a bit brisk, especially up through northern portions of the province. Southwesterly winds will be gusting anywhere from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour overnight tonight, and then southwesterlies between 40 and 70 in the west. Now, the island will see those temperatures in the minus single digits, but your winds will be gusting upwards of 40. Now, as we head to tomorrow morning, the winds for southeastern Labrador and the northern peninsula are going to ramp up, especially towards tomorrow afternoon. We're looking at those winds gusting 80, maybe even 90 kilometers per hour. Some exposed areas could see higher than that. But it's going to be a windy day pretty much across the island as well, with those winds gusting between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour through a good chunk of your Friday, and then staying pretty gusty through Saturday as well. So with those gusty winds tomorrow, the snow will move towards the northern peninsula, west coast of the island. Expect some blowing snow, reduced visibilities through a good chunk of tomorrow morning. That moves through fairly quickly, so we should see visibilities improve by afternoon. But the chance of flurries will definitely still be there for central and then eastern areas of the province. By the time we get into tomorrow evening, we'll likely see some showers, maybe even a few flurries in the mix as well. As far as amounts are concerned, most of it will be for the west coast and up across Labrador. We could see pockets of between 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. And then continuing through tomorrow afternoon in the higher elevations, we're talking between 20, maybe even 30 centimeters of snow. That's on the high side, but that chance certainly still there by the time we get into Saturday morning. Our temperatures tomorrow will hover around the 0 degree mark for most, except the east and along the south coast, hence that potential for some showers. But again, breezy tomorrow, 2-3 degrees as your afternoon highs, and up across Labrador, well above where you should be sitting this time of year, hovering somewhere between about -3 in the west to about +1 in Happy Valley Goose Bay. So like I said, there is a warm up on the way. We'll talk about that when I come back.
Well, a holiday classic is hitting arts and culture center stages across the province. The Nutcracker is a massive undertaking. It's taxing for the dancers taking part, not to mention tough on their shoes, too. Before the production hit the road, freelancers Andy Bowman and Rodrigo Iniguez caught up with the dance theater in St. John's.
lot physically. I know from the second that I put on my shoes in September and start doing this choreography again, I do get aches and the same feeling that I recognized from the year before. It's almost like, okay, here we go again. Here's Nutcracker time. And as for shoes, I know personally I'm going through a new pair of shoes every 2 weeks. And we do start rehearsals in September, so it is a lot of shoes and a lot physically, but in the end it's worth it. It is a Kittywig performance, but we have dancers from all over. Many different dance schools are participating. We have people who don't dance at all who get to be in our party scene and in those roles. And then we have kids who have been dancing their whole lives, and this is the moment that they're waiting for. And it's really great that we get to include everyone in our performance.
My name is Claire Butler, and for this year's Nutcracker, I'm Clara. Every Christmas, when I'm in the Nutcracker, it just puts me more in the holiday spirit. I practice ballet 4 to 5 times a week. It's going to get more practice in December when we do more dress rehearsals, so maybe almost every night. This is one of my favorite ballets to see or be in. It's amazing just to see what I might get to grow up to be in, to dance.
Nutcracker is a great entry point to get people to start seeing ballet. It tells a story, it's very animated, very colorful, and I know when people see it that they'll be hooked, hopefully.
My name is Benny Malone. I play Drosselmeyer in the Nutcracker, and it's a real thrill to be involved in this huge dance production. I love ballet, I love dance of all kinds, I love any kind of physical movement, I love any kind of artistic expression through physical movement, physical art. I don't do a lot of dancing, but I still work as a clown, so I'm in shape. I'm ready for this. The old dog learning new tricks.
We are taking Nutcracker on tour. We are going to Gander, Grand Falls, Corner Brook, and here in St. John's.
Friday is Feed NL Day.
And CBC NL is partnering with the Community Food Sharing Association to help fill the shelves of food banks around the province.
The Here and Now team will be live with special musical guests right here at the Avalon Mall this Friday, December 15th, along with our on-the-go colleagues. It all starts at 4 p.m. on CBC Radio.
And we'll be live on TV half hour earlier than normal, 5:30 Island time, 5 o'clock in most of Labrador. So come on down and make a donation in person.
Or donate online. Just open the camera app on your smartphone and scan the QR code right now, or go to cbc.ca/bekind.
So join us live here at the Avalon Mall on Friday.
See you then. Yes, and as you just heard, Feed NL Day is tomorrow. We'll be live at the Avalon Mall starting on radio at 4 p.m. Island time, and a special early start to Here and Now as well at 5:30 Island time. The day is in support of local food banks. Before the Avalon Mall show, our colleagues at The Signal on CBC Radio will be broadcasting live from the St. Vincent de Paul Food Bank in Carbonear. CBC's Amanda Gear was there to talk with volunteers, and she brought her 13-year-old son with her.
The number of people relying on food banks is greater than ever, and it's even more during the holiday season. I'm here at the Carbonear Food Bank to ask volunteers how we can all lend a helping hand. I can see that you guys are putting together your hampers now.
Yes, our lucky toilet paper that we make sure is in every hamper.
Absolutely needed for everybody.
Yes, yeah, no one should have to ask for toilet paper.
Absolutely. So how many people are you servicing this year with the hampers?
It's going to be over 1,000. We're still actually going through our numbers and we're still getting calls. So we hopefully will have the final numbers by Saturday.
And on a regular week, how many people are you servicing?
We can serve anywhere from 300 to 600 households. Yeah, it depends on the temperature, it depends on what's going on in the area. School graduations, things like that can kind of up who comes for hampers and what type of people come for hampers. It could be families. The summertime we see an increase in families. This time of year we definitely see an increase in seniors as the heat goes up.
How can people help out?
You can do anything. We always say one can. If you can donate one can, that helps out a food bank immensely. If you want to volunteer your time, and like food banks are such a fluid operation. You can do anything from, packing hampers to going and picking up donations, to checking expiry dates, to marking off barcodes.
All right, Carrie, I would love to see where the action happens and where all these hampers get packed up. So can you show me where that goes on?
No problem. I'll have Caitlin Clark, our project coordinator. She'll show you how to pack a hamper today.
Thank you so much for having us here today, Caitlin. I really appreciate your time. Tell me about where we're to right now.
So right now we're in the main stock room of the St. Vincent de Paul Carbonear Food Bank. So this is our main storage room.
I know that you guys have a bit of muscle and help to help you carry out some of the hampers for Christmas time. Tell me about how that goes.
So usually Christmas time, particularly on Christmas hamper day, we have some of the local hockey teams. So they'll come in and help bring hampers upstairs and help people get them to their cars and things like that. As well, we have a bunch of other students that volunteer throughout the year or have been with us through the summer. They come back Christmas time and help out as well.
That's amazing. Well, today I brought you a little prize. My son Ace is here to lend a hand with some hampers and to do some heavy lifting. I love volunteering him what to do, so this is going to work out great.
Yeah, that is awesome.
you just finished packing up some Christmas hampers here at the Carbonear Food Bank. How was it?
It was pretty good because some people don't have enough money to get this food and they really need it over the holidays.
Yeah, and if you don't have a lot of money yourself, but you do want to help out, what do you suggest people do?
You can volunteer, such as what I did, and pack stuff and help them move it, all that kind of stuff.
Lend your muscles, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, bud. You did a great job. Join us throughout the month of December with kindness and generosity by donating to your local food banks.
You can support your local food bank by donating online.
Go to cbc.ca/bekind. Amanda Gear, CBC News, Carbonear.
Ace Bradford Gear, CBC News, Carbonear.
What a duo. Well, you can join Adam Walsh and The Signal tomorrow at noon Newfoundland time when they broadcast live from the St. Vincent de Paul Carbonear Food Bank as part of our special Feed NL Day programming in support of local food banks.
Yeah, you have to record the song and go in with an engineer and practice it and then do the music video. So it is a lot of production.
Came up with this notion of Snook trying to do some community service to increase the chances of him getting a light sentence.
Well, from holiday cheer with Donnie Love to a new series with Snook, we catch up with some homegrown talent. That's coming up.
it is a real-life sea monster. Like, it makes the real world shimmer with a sense of the wondrous.
People didn't understand it.
Descriptions of it seems like something out of science fiction.
There's an element of the madcap, there's an element of whimsy. The giant squid to me is also emblematic of swashbuckling adventure.
It just seemed impossible.
We've unraveled the story of the Kraken.
Well, for some, it's turned into a decade-long tradition here in town. Donnie Love, local actor and producer, has been giving the gift of song each year, releasing a cover of a holiday classic along with a music video every holiday season. Now he's wrapping it all up in a bow with a new album. Donnie Love swung by the St. John's Morning Show studio today to chat about his Christmas creations.
Okay, so for anybody that hasn't seen, I can't believe that there isn't, but if there's somebody out there that hasn't seen your Christmas videos, like, you put a lot of production into these.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Yeah, I mean, and the turnaround is probably about a week, so, you know, the crew gets together.
A week?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we edit it in, you know, a couple of days and then launch it, because Christmas is such hustle and bustle that you're like, oh my goodness, I got to get this Christmas music video out. And so coming up with the location and the Merry Did You Know video, I was in black leather and sunglasses.
And a choker.
And a choker,
You
yeah.
had a choker on.
Yeah, but before that I was like, Kent, what am I going to wear? And we had a big RV outside the church, and I had all this, you know, just dressed up like suit and tie, and he's like, nah, man, just go leather, like, you know, rock and roll. And I said,
We're talking
okay.
Kent Brown now?
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
So that's how that happened.
Oh my God, and he put you in the choker?
No, I had that. That was a gift from a friend a long time ago.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I wanted one also. I'm dressing up like Donnie here this Christmas. But yeah, so you're assembling all this, and this is like a group effort, but like this is a lot of production, right? Like you put a lot of work into this.
Yeah, you have to record the song and go in with an engineer and practice it and then do the music video. So it is a lot of production, you know, like anything. But I'm into production. I've been doing television for 20 years, so
that's where you're at.
Yeah, so
you know what? You got to produce it. It's a bit right. It's a bit TV.
I know, and you know, when you're doing a music video, you know, it can be cringe. Do you know what I mean? I was like, okay, don't be cringe. Try not to be cringe. Try to.
You don't want to be cringe?
No.
Like,
I'm trying not to. I've evolved into lesser cringe.
What do you mean?
Over the years.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, I was kind of like over-singing it and overacting it when I was doing it before, and then I was like, kind of just...
I'm going to come up with a term for that. Was it Christmas conviction?
Christmas conviction. Yes, that's it. Yes, that's it. Okay.
You got Christmas conviction. So why would you lose the Christmas conviction?
I've just evolved it a bit. Like I used to, you know, I don't over-sing as much, and I've just found my voice, and yeah.
Well, tell us about the new album, The Christmas Wish.
Well, it's all your holiday classics. I mean, there's Gloria in Excelsis Deo for my mom, who loved that song. And also this year I'm doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town. And Oh Holy Night is on it. And The River by Joni Mitchell. And original I wrote. And yeah, there's 11 songs on it. I'm so proud of it because, you know, It's my dream. When I was a kid, I always wanted to put out an album, but I never ever did it. And I've been playing in bands, you know, for years and years and years in the downtown music scene before I moved into television. And I was going to Fred's Records to do a promotion because Fred's Records is going to take the album and O'Brien's. And I was in Fred's Records and I was like, wow, I used to, you know, sell CDs and tapes here with Todd Mark Music back in the day. And when I was going through the Newfoundland section, I was always like, I really want to have a CD out. I don't want to be selling these. I want to be having my own out and doing shows. And then I was taking the pictures and doing this promo for the Christmas music album, and it dawned on me. I was like, this is my dream come true.
Christmas conviction. Love it. And staying with conviction and local entertainment, Snook is back. Pete Soucy has revived his much-loved corner boy character for a new series called Snook Out on Bail. And it sounds like he's still a hard ticket.
All right! Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Did not know that.
It's a new series called Snook Out on Bail. It's 10-minute episodes. That's available on Bell 5 TV1. It's the first thing I've done with Snook in terms of recording anything in about 6 years. I came up with this notion of Snook trying to do some community service to increase the chances of him getting a light sentence.
Do you have anything to say, Mr. Snook, before sentence?
No. As it turned out, we got very lucky. With people like Bob Joy, Greg Malone, Patrina Bromley, great cameos from the Premier, the Mayor of St. John's, Mark Critch shows up at one point. So, yeah, it couldn't have gone better.
The world is kind of scary and you don't know what to do. Just do the Snook.
I performed Snook first, I think, in 1989. So he was a 30-year career that I kind of stepped away from back in 2017 and assumed that was it, pretty much, once in a while for nostalgia, bring him out and let him do something. But this has turned into a bit more than that, and who knows? I mean, there seems to be some interest in some other opportunities, so we'll see.
How are you getting on? I'm feeling just a tad on the naked side here this week, you might say, because, well, me and Dougie...
Everybody knows the Snook, and everybody knows that spirit, that in some ways a typical Newfoundland, what odds, who cares, good time, not a long time, nothing phases him, there's no malice in him, he doesn't mean ill towards anyone, he's just here for a good time.
Like I said, nice to have spring in the air. Right on.
It's a bizarre cult film.
Love, murder, mental illness, Newfoundland independence.
There's a sickness or darkness in there that's like a fish hook in your abdomen while you're laughing.
We were the very first feature film produced in Newfoundland.
And was the most insane style to make a film that you could imagine.
We had a lot of people who had never acted before. That's not necessarily a great idea.
People made movies in Hollywood. People didn't make movies in Newfoundland.
Fasten your seatbelts and come along for the ride.
And that's all I can say, I think. I don't know.
Friday is Feed NL Day.
And CBC NL is partnering with the Community Food Sharing Association to help fill the shelves of food banks around the province.
The Here and Now team will be live with special musical guests right here at the Avalon Mall this Friday, December 15th, along with our on-the-go colleagues. It all starts at 4 p.m. on CBC Radio.
And we'll be live on TV half hour earlier than normal, 5:30 Island time, 5 o'clock in most of Labrador. So come on down and make a donation in person.
Or donate online. Just open the camera app on your smartphone and scan the QR code right now, or go to cbc.ca/bekind.
So join us live here at the Avalon Mall on Friday.
See you then. Yes, hope to see you then. It's going to be a fun day tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well, so let's talk about the weather, long-range forecast, skipping ahead to the weekend. How's it looking?
We're going to see some cool temperatures in some areas, some snow in others for now. Whatever does fall is not going to last too long.
Okay.
Let's take a look at what's going on, though, for your Friday evening into Saturday. So we'll see some shower activity likely for the eastern half of the island. As we head into Saturday morning, some more flurries will develop on the west coast of the island, but again, near the ocean there, near the coast rather, along the south coast of the island. And even up along the northeast coast, we may see some of this fall as rain as our temperatures are a tad warm. But as we head into the evening hours, again, all of the snow activity that we see should, or at least the accumulating snow, should fall in the higher elevations on the west coast. Now, there's the opportunity to see the sunshine for sure on Saturday. Our temperatures will be hovering near or below zero, essentially for the western half of the island, and then the eastern half of the island, 0 or even 2 or 3 degrees above. Hence that chance of showers. Up across Labrador, you're looking at minus single digits for the most part on Saturday, except for the west, where you'll see your temperatures hovering around minus 12, and it's going to be a bit breezy as well, especially up across Labrador. Now, as we head into Sunday morning, the winds will continue across the Big Land. We're looking at just generally cloud cover for you, at least to start. Most of the island should actually be seeing some sunshine, but we will see that cloud cover linger on the west coast. And then we've got some flurries or light snow developing late day on Sunday for the west coast. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot happening across the island. In fact, we should see a fairly nice day with lots of sunshine. Again, those clouds will be on the increase through the day, but overall our daytime highs will be hovering near or just above zero. And then for Labrador, warming up a bit as well, anywhere from about 0 to minus 1, and then a little cooler in Lab City, where you'll hover around minus 4. Now, the long range forecast. If you like snow, you are going to not like me at all. We're looking at our temperatures warming up between 8 to 11 degrees for Monday and Tuesday. Some windy conditions as well, as we see some rain likely on your Tuesday. And then for central and western Newfoundland, we're looking at a similar warm-up between 8 to 11 degrees. We may see temperatures a bit warmer than that as well. And for eastern Labrador, you're also looking at that warm-up with some windy conditions. We'll see that temperature warm up on Monday for western Labrador, and then back down to the minus teens, or minus 12 degrees rather, on your Tuesday. So that will transition back to snow. Speaking of some snow, this is a little shot of the frosted tablelands there. Thanks to John for that photo. And if you have any weather photos you'd like to share with us, you can send them to my Facebook page, but the best place is to email them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, just beautiful. Thank you so much for that, John. And we have to mention it one more time because tomorrow is going to be a fun day, Ashley. Really looking forward to being live at the Avalon Mall for Feed NL Day.
Yeah, so we'll be live on radio starting at 4 p.m. and then on TV starting at 5:30 Island time. And it's all to raise money for local food banks.
Yes, and Anthony Germain is going to be there. Jeremy Eaton, Heather Gillis will be there as well. So if you're in the mall tomorrow, be sure to come by, say hello, maybe even make a donation. We'll be set up by the winner's entrance. And one more thing too, you still have time to get your birthday and anniversary greeting in, but we won't be doing them tomorrow. We're going to wait until Monday for that. So that's it for us. Good night.
Good night.